Today we're going to pick up where we left off last week with our lava field cliff terrain, and today we're going to do some lava effects with a little bit of lighting, as well as a few other small details. Alright, last time we left off having finished painting and building our cliffs. Today we're going to start off by attaching the underlayer for all of the cliff faces, which is going to act as our support for the lava field. So I'm opening up a fresh bottle of Loctite all-purpose adhesive, and I'm going to use this, just a couple little strips on the bottom of the underlayer foam support pieces to secure everything down. Now, I will say if you do this and you happen to use a ceiling tile like I did, they don't quite hold on as nicely as I had originally hoped. So I didn't wait for this to fully 100% dry before I moved on to my next step. I would absolutely recommend doing so because they really needed a lot of extra time to dry to make sure that everything stayed in place. The tile itself is designed to be washable and cleanable, so it has this kind of glossy surface that made it a little difficult for the adhesive to kind of stick to everything until it was fully dry. Now, once it was dry, it stuck on and there was no issues. So just kind of keep that in mind if you happen to use the exact same materials that I'm using. Now, I'm not going to show it on camera, but I would absolutely recommend, once you've let it dry, put something heavy on top of them just to kind of weigh them down and make sure that they don't slide around while everything is drying and curing into place. Alright, so this is it's kind of hard to see until it focuses. There we go. This is a cracked ice fluorescent lighting panel cover. I thought this would be a really cool thing to use as the lava layer. It has a whole lot of little detail which is going to add a lot of immediate texture to the lava, and it's going to save us a bunch of time and effort. So when I paint this, I want to make sure that the cliffs have a seamless transition from the cliff to the lava, so I'm just kind of marking out a little bit inside of the underlayer. Now this is going to be our line of paint up to this, which is going to flow underneath the actual cliffs, which are slightly larger. So using some Artist Loft Deep Red, I'm doing a full coating on all of the top, and then I'm going to flip it over and coat the bottom as well. So once our red layer has been finished, I'm going to remove this and show you what I did down here. Now this is a string of LED wire lights that have a setting that's called Breathe. So the lights go on and then slowly dim off, and this is going to work really nice for creating a glowing lava effect. Turn off my overhead light here a little bit and you can kind of see it on camera. Still a little too bright in my office to really see it, but you can kind of get the lighting and what it's gonna do. So now we need to fill in the borders for all of the underlayer before we attach the lava. And to do that, I'm using a piece of scrap foam and some foam board. The scrap foam is just to make sure that everything is the right height. And then we're just going to cut out a few strips of the foam board using the first cut as a template and guide. We're going to need a few of these just to make sure that we have enough to cover the whole outside edge of the board. So now that we've got these cut, I've trimmed them to kind of fit the appropriate area. I'm using a little bit of hot glue, and this is going to just kind of adhere everything down. I'm doing one piece at a time, and just do a couple edges, and any gaps I'm going to fill in with a little bit of hot glue. And then as the glue is drying, I remove any extra glue that has kind of seeped out from the sides just to give a nice smooth finish. Now once that's set in place, I'm going to reinforce the inside edges just to make sure that it doesn't jostle around or get moved while I'm using this train piece. Alright, once the edges are flush and filled, we're going to use a little bit more of the adhesive to secure down the lava. Now this absolutely is a interesting one to secure down. Once I put it in place, I put a couple of books on top of it and just kind of let it set until it fully cured. Alright, so while that is curing, let's go ahead and add some runic sigils to the top of this one plateau. Now I wanted it to be a round sigil, so I'm using a piece of, well, not a piece, a spool of masking tape to give me a circle template, and I'm being careful not to touch the masking tape with the glue. This is just some tacky glue that I got at the Dollar Tree. Now I want things to come up from this angle as they get up to the top, so we're going to orient everything as if that was the front. So I wanted this to be just kind of some random shapes and a couple of little designs on the inside, so I thought, hey, why not? We're going to go a circle with a triangle inside and then a triangle inside that. And once I had started, I decided, you know what, why not a few more triangles? It makes it look more magic-y and eldritch in nature. So once I had that done, I decided, what's a runic circle without a few runes? So I just kind of added a few lines to make it look like runes. These aren't, necessarily for anything, they just kind of look neat. And then around the outside edge, I just kind of added a few extra lines, some swirls, things to make it look like this might have been like a summoner trying to bring a demon from like the Nine Hells, or someone trying to, summon up some random thing or call down an angel or something like that. Just kind of a few extra embellishments to add extra character to the whole thing. Alright, so once all the glue has been applied, we're going to use some of this coarse white sand, and this is going to cover the entirety of the circle, and then we're going to let that dry for about 15 to 20 minutes. Once it's dry, I'm going to use this lid for a box to catch all the sand, but you can see that the sand has clung to the glue, and we have a nice coarse, what I could call salt line for our summoning circle. But we also have a whole bunch of sand that's kind of clung to the terrain, and I don't want it there, so I'm using a soft makeup brush to just kind of break that sand loose, and then I will sweep it off to the side and tap it free. Now I would recommend using a makeup brush for this and making sure everything is completely dry. That way you don't run the risk of removing sand from the glue. Alright, once that's done, we're going to stick everything down. Now I took a few toothpicks and drilled some pilot holes with a power drill through the lava layer, and this is going to let me secure everything in place without worrying about them moving around while the adhesive cures everything down. Now once this dries, these are going to be rock solid and have zero shake or movement to them. Alright, so now it's time to begin working on the actual lava, and we're going to start with some Artist Loft Orange. Now this is going to be put on in kind of a blob. There's no rhyme or reason to this. The general thing to remember with lava is most of the time, the brighter the color, the hotter it is. So using that as a guide, I blobbed down a patch roughly 1.5 to 2 inches away from everything else, and then once the blob was in place, I did a dry brush around the edges of that, 1/2 inch to 1 inch in size. Once all this dries, this will kind of be a nice blend from orange down into red, and it'll look a lot more natural. Now you can make these patches as large or as small as you want. I'm going with some slightly large patches because I wanted it to seem like this is a really big and hot pool of lava. Alright, so now we're going to add a little bit of lighting to the rock faces, and this is going to be done by dry brushing a little bit of orange onto the lower edges of the rock faces. All I'm doing is dry brushing from the bottom up. It gives it a nice little lighting effect. So now we need to add some cold spots, and this is going to be done by dry brushing a little bit of black onto the edges around the cliff faces. This will represent a colder section of lava that has started to cool. Then we're going to use some brilliant yellow, and this is going to go on in just a couple of little small patches in the absolute center of the orange. This is going to be the hottest, brightest section of the lava patches. And as you can see from the dry brushing, this really works well with the cracked ice panel. This really adds a lot of texture just really for free. Alright, so here we are with the project so far. So far I've spent maybe $40 to $45 on this. I'm loving how this has come out, so please everyone tune in next time where we finish things up. Hit that like button, subscribe for future content, and comment in the comments section, and we will see everyone next time.